Alert. Heavy damage. Standard comms system estimated. Initiating short-range ATS control. Activating short-range attack gear. Alert. Large enemy group detected.
Yes, I'm aware of that.
What is up, guys, gals, and you awesome means and gamers of different shapes and sizes. It is me, Josh, aka Proxy, bringing you some Nier 2 Automata today on the PlayStation 4 Pro. Don't forget to drop a like if you enjoy this video, and why not subscribe for more gameplay of this, well, awesome-looking game in the near future, because obviously it hasn't come out yet. I think it comes out in March, which is quite exciting, but would love to know all of your opinionage. Now, it's kind of interesting, actually, because originally I didn't really like the look of Nier. Now, this isn't because of Nier 2. No. Nier 2 looks amazeballs. But it was because I didn't like the look of the original game. Obviously, this is Nier 2, and there was Nier 1, and Nier 1 just kind of looked a little bit boring to me. Like, the protagonist looked kind of a bit dull, and I don't know, there was just something about it that doesn't really click with my own personal preferences. And it was kind of a shame, really, because the universe looks really cool, the art style looked fantastic for the enemies and things like that, but again, the protagonist didn't really click with me, and generally, when it comes to video games, I love it when a protagonist clicks with me. Like, for instance, this is a really good recent kind of, like, example, is with the next kind of sequel to Watch Dogs. Obviously, Watch Dogs 2 has a new protagonist, but the look of the character just didn't really kind of like suit me personally. It was just kind of, I don't know, he was a bit too skinny, and it just kind of, the way that he sounded and like his personality, and again just kind of like his design just wasn't that great, and it just didn't click, and that's a bit of a shame. And it's kind of cool actually to think about actually with other games too, like Metal Gear Solid Guns of the Patriots, where Raiden, even with Raiden and Guns of the Patriots, didn't really click with me as well. It seemed a bit odd, he seemed just a little bit kind of like missing, and it came to like unique features of making him look really cool. Like you had Solid Snake, who looked badass because he had like the really awesome octo camouflage suit, and he just had all these amazing details, but then Raiden is kind of, there was just something missing. But then when he came out with Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, oh my god, they do some awesome justice to Raiden. He looked amazing with that immense kind of like metallic cyborg suit, and it was just really cool, really best. And it's one of those things where it's all just about preference, it's all about clicking, and it's kind of cool actually that I can actually get back into the interest of, say, Nier, because obviously it's one of those things where I really like to try and cover all video games. It's one of those things I like to try and stay up to date, and Nier is obviously a pretty popular, I'd probably say underdog gem in the video game community, which is kind of cool. But as you can see with Nier 2, it just looks really badass. It has a bit more of a futuristic feel to it. You've got this really cool kind of badass, again, the word badass seems to be something that's going to crop up a lot when it comes to this video, or this video game in general, is that the protagonist, a female protagonist, once again is incredibly badass, and it's something that we're seeing a lot of when it comes to a trend in video games at the moment. Now, I don't know if this is because of the rise of the female protagonist again, which is quite cool, but also not the sexualization of a female protagonist, because as you can see, she's kind of wearing this really kind of like nice, elegant dress, but at the same time, it does kind of have a little bit of a sexiness to it with like the leg area and stuff, but still really cool design, really awesome. She looks like a complete gothic badass, but obviously she's a cyborg as well. Now, when it comes to the cyborg thing too, you do actually have a little bit of an inspiration, I feel, in Nier 2 when it comes to, say, Metal Gear Rising, as I mentioned. The combat feels a lot like it. Now, you don't actually have that slow-mo kind of, you know, Melee 2.0 kind of thing where you could, like, chop everything to bits, you know, in slow-mo, but it has that kind of, like, quickness about it. So as you can see there, you can run around really quick like Raiden could in Metal Gear Rising, and you also have that really badass kind of, like, blade combat as well, where you have kind of, like, the quick attacks, but also the heavy attacks, and you can also combo kind of, like, two different types of weapons together as well, from what I've seen, because in the demo you only get two weapons, but within like the menus and the sub-menus, it seems that you can actually make different kind of like weapon playlist styles and stuff like that, like loadouts, and it seems very akin to Metal Gear Rising, and that's not a bad thing, because Metal Gear Rising actually kind of created a new form of hack and slash. It was very quick, but also incredibly awesome and addictive, and it's one of those things where a lot of the times it felt like maybe Batman Arkham Asylum, or kind of just like the Arkham series in general, was kind of like controlling the beat 'em up kind of like combo thing where you'd have like hack and slash, but then you'd kind of press like the counter button when, you know, as like a sensitive moment in time, and it was kind of like the way that everything was going. And then you obviously had God of War, which was like the definitive hack and slash where the formula could not be beaten, where it was kind of like you had that kind of like parry button, and then you obviously had like the combos and stuff like that. But when Metal Gear Rising came out, it changed things up a little bit, where it was kind of like you had to kind of do parrying within combos, and that was a very interesting kind of thing to do. And now in this game, it kind of has that a little bit, but then it also has Bayonetta on top of it as well. From what I can tell, you don't actually have a block button, but you actually have a dodge counter, which is really, really cool. So like in, say, Bayonetta, where when you did the dodge at the right time, you'd go into witch time, and you have this really cool kind of like teleportation animation. And you may have noticed when I was dodging attacks in this so far, that you actually do that kind of like witch time, not the actual teleportation slow-mo, but you do actually have that teleportation dodge. And it's just kind of cool. It's a really nice kind of, I don't know, like effect that you get from like dodging an attack, and it actually feels like you've dodged that attack, and then you can do some really kind of deadly counter, you know, like move as well. And it's just awesome. It's just really, really cool, really, really nice, really surprised. This is the thing, like obviously, as you can tell, the visuals are a little bit kind of brown and grey and rusty. I mean, maybe that's the effect they're going for here. Maybe this is because it's just the introduction to the game, but there are also these little bits of blue, all these little bits of other colours like red, as you can see as well, just kind of shining through sometimes. And it's a kind of cool thing that a lot of games are doing now as well, where you follow basically a colour code, right? So when it comes to, say, doing artwork, when it comes to graphic design, or even, say, movies and things, you want to try and follow a specific colour code, which is a primary colour, a secondary colour, and a tertiary colour. You don't want all the colours of the rainbow, because that means that things can kind of mess up with your theme, but it also means that you don't want things to be too dull. You don't want things, and dull, again, is kind of one of those strong words that I'm using at the moment in this video, but it's also one of those things, as I'm trying to say, is that you don't want things to be kind of bland and not have like some kind of like jump out colour to make everything look kind of nice. And so with this, you do have those greys, you do have those browns, but then you have this weird kind of gold colour coming from the main character and the little robot by your side, and also you have red. You have red from the enemies and stuff, so you do actually have these things shining through, and that is actually a really good kind of respect for colour combinations, the colour code in a sense, of kind of art design in general. And so I kind of appreciate that. I really, really like that. Would love to know your opinion though in the comment section below, and also let me know, have you actually played this demo yet? Have you actually given it a go? Have you actually had some form of experience with it? Have you played the original Nier? Now this is the thing, remember, I have not actually experienced the first game from obviously not clicking with the main character and stuff, but now I actually feel like I want to go back, actually buy it for PlayStation 3 maybe, and see what it's like. But it's one of those things where I instantly pre-ordered this once I saw the trailer, once I saw gameplay videos of it, and look how fast she runs, just like riding and stuff. It actually does have that thing aching to it, but it's just really cool, really, really nice. And also this really nice kind of like switch up of like 2D as well. So sometimes you're going into this open area, full control of 3D kind of environments, but then you go into 2D sections where your little robot can actually do a little bit more justice with the shooting and stuff, which is kind of cool as well. So I'm kind of curious how that kind of robot plays into the gameplay later on, or if maybe it's kind of like a difficulty thing. Maybe, oh, my phone just went off. Maybe it's kind of like, I got a follower! Skull Candy, you're following me? Holy shizzle, that is awesome. But it's one of those kind of cool things where maybe the robot might be like a difficulty kind of perspective kind of thing, where if you increase the difficulty, maybe the robot won't help you in combat or something. I'm not too sure, I've not tried the harder difficulties, but it's kind of that thing where it helps you in a sense, like maybe you're not very good at these types of games. The robot kind of holds your hand in a sense. Now, it'd be really awesome if you could deactivate the robot, but then again, what you're going to see in this gameplay is that the robot actually comes really, really handy for flying types and also boss types. So at the start of this video, we'll find this giant crane thing, which is kind of weird. Not too sure about the story behind this game, but it looks really, really awesome. And it was this thing where, like, the robot can actually be really good for kind of shooting the bosses when they're far away off kind of, like, range. Now, we've actually seen this in other games as well, like, say, Darksiders, where you did actually eventually get the revolver, and it meant that if the boss character was kind of, like, off the map, you know, kind of like one of those ones where the boss is so big that only, like, their upper half is actually in the environment, but they're kind of, like, off a ledge, and so you have to, like, kind of, like, wait for them to reach you, and so you can hit their appendages and stuff. You will see that in this, but it was kind of like that same thing. So, like, in, say, Darksiders, you had the revolver, and it meant that you could actually like shoot the enemy from afar but do chip damage. Now it obviously didn't do much damage, but it meant that you were kind of still contributing some kind of passive damage dealt, and Nier 2 actually does that as well through the robot. I'm not too sure what it is. It kind of gives me a little bit of a Metal Gear Solid 4 vibe with Otacon's little... What was that thing? I can't remember. It had a specific name. Wasn't it called like... It was actually like a mini Metal Gear, wasn't it? You kind of like classed it as a mini Metal Gear, like a portable one or something, but obviously for reconnaissance or something like that. It was really, really awesome. And also, this is another cool thing, is even though you go 2D, you're going to see me go top down in a second as well, which is really, really badass. Obviously, there's that kind of weird thing where you have to try and get used to the angles and stuff. Going down staircases in 2D is generally not something that can be quite fun, and so the enemies can kind of like get a advantage on you. But what you're going to see now is me go into a top-down perspective, and it's just such... Look at that! that. It's just so cool. And it's one of those things where the combat just kind of really adapts to itself, like, instantly. It just suits it. Like, top-down shooters are one of my favorite types of game, like, genres, and even, like, 2D ones. And knowing that you have this thing where it kind of combines, like, a Japanese difficulty-based, like, top-down shooter with having to dodge all these orbs and things, because that seems to be very, very popular in Asia and stuff, which is really, really cool. But then having that kind of, like, Western thing to it as well, where the gameplay is really accessible, really fun. It doesn't feel like you have to master much, but just kind of, you can just, like, let yourself go a little bit and have fun. And I'm just getting lost in it. Like, I was just really having fun. Like, I was actually playing this demo when I was having breakfast, and I ended up letting my breakfast get cold. I was having a freaking bagel with ham, and I ended up just forgetting about the bagel and ham because I was just wanting to play this because it was just that fun. And I just wanted to find out what happened next as well. And again, look, with that color tertiary and secondary and primary, you're now seeing orange kind of stick out. And so, again, it's really one of those cool things by seeing the developer kind of really respect colors, you know, especially in video games when it can be one of those things where maybe the environments will be bland, but you will actually have those standout things. It's one of those things maybe to always look out for, and let me know in the comment section below in future videos or even in this one if you've actually seen that in other games as well. I personally can't really think of many. I mean, Metal Gear Rising again did that with, say, like, blues and reds, and you get it in a few, like, bits and bob games, but generally a lot of the time you'll find that it's one of those things where games will kind of, like, combine too many colors, and it can be a little bit annoying. So I would love to know your opinion. What is a really awesome game that you played where color was like an amazing use, or even art style as well? Like, as you can see here, the characters look really cool, and I'm quite curious to see what the enemy types are like later on. Like, right now at the moment, the little robots look kind of like boring little steampunk, like, clammed together, what would you say, like, off the conveyor belt type of stuff. You know, like, they're not really something to be worried about. Like, you may have noticed that Carrot's in that amazing mech suit at the start, and it's one of those things where, so we know that art design, character design is a really important thing in this game, but I'm quite curious to see what other enemy types are like in the future, like what other bosses might be like if there might be actually mech types to fight against and stuff like that. So just really, really awesome, and it's one of those things where it just makes me really excited, very, very curious, and it's one of the reasons why I ended up pre-ordering this game. Like, I had to pre-order this game, I had to support it, because I don't think it's going to be one of those ones that sells a lot. I don't know if anyone actually agrees with me there, or maybe Nier is actually really, really popular. You don't have people talking about it much. Like, obviously now that Nier 2 is coming out, people are actually bringing it up again, but it's one of those things where maybe it needs a little bit more love. Maybe it's kind of like one of those little gems in the rough that nobody's really, like, noticed. You know, like the little blinking light bulb and, like, the immense amounts of light bulbs that are always on. Like, it's kind of like, what other games were kind of like that? If I think really, really hard, like, say, like, Shadows of the Damned. Like, Shadows of the Damned by Grasshopper Manufacturer, another massive gem. Wasn't incredibly popular, actually came off with, like, a little bit of a cliffhanger at the end where it could actually have a sequel, but it wasn't popular enough to have a sequel, and so obviously maybe Nier was popular enough to have a sequel, not too. Maybe it was really good in Japan or even America. America loves Japanese games, which is awesome. Like, look at that, though. You see that little dodge feat that you can do there? It's kind of like in Bayonetta, don't you think? But, again, the combat is just really awesome, really fluid. It's great to see the enemies kind of react to your attacks as well, doing uppercuts, very God of War-esque, or even Devil May Cry, and it's just fun, it's just badass, and I really highly recommend that you try this game out, because it's just really fun to get lost in it, and it's a really good demo as well. It gives you a nice chunk of gameplay, kind of like baits you with a carrot on the end of the stick, because that is one thing I always really like, is that when a demo actually makes you want to play more, and this game actually, or this game's demo should I say, actually really gives you that mix of gameplay, that little bit of a platter of different things like top-down 2D, 3D combat with the, you know, the little open segments and stuff, and it's just a really cool thing. And obviously there are things on top of that. You're also going to see later on in this demo mech combat, so you actually do get to go into a mech suit and actually battle a boss in that, and so you do have that kind of little bit of a Zone of the Enders vibe to it as well. Like, maybe you will be able to go around in mech suits and fight other mechs mid-air or even on the ground and stuff, and so much potential when it comes to this game, and I'm really looking forward for it to coming out, and so I can do even more videos for you, even maybe potentially a live stream, a review, because I do want to get back into reviews once I go back to the UK and things, and so much to cover, so freaking much to cover, but it's just, I've been wanting to make a video for this for ages, but obviously because I am in New Zealand, is that thing of, like, trying to get the right opportunity to do it, and also the audio and stuff. It's just kind of annoying, you know, because I do get very particular about my audio, because I want it to be good for you, I want you to actually really like it, but oh, whatever. I mean, you know, might as well just make the video as it is, and then when I get back, do like a really good kind of audio version when I'm in York, obviously, because it's one of those things where obviously when in York I actually have my recording studio, it's one of those things where I can actually do that really good audio, but now I've got like a bit of an echo because I'm in New Zealand and stuff. But it's just a pity, you know. So it's one of those things where I can't hold off videos. I have to actually give you this content so you can see it, so I'm not holding it back, and you don't get to maybe experience it, because even though other channels may be uploading this content, this gameplay, you might not actually see those channels. It might not be something that actually you notice and it'll like slip through the cracks. But either way, I'm gonna let you enjoy this boss fight. It's really awesome. I'm gonna get done talking 15 minutes. Oh, wowzers! But it's been me, Josh, aka Proxy, bringing you some Nier 2. Highly recommend you check out the demo, which is on the PlayStation 4 right now for free to download, obviously because it's a demo. But remember to comment section below, let me know what you think to it. This is going to be an awesome, amazing, badass boss fight against a giant Titanic-sized crane robot mech. It's just weird. It's so cool. But either way, it's been me, Josh, and I'll see you all next time.
No response from long-range communications.
Doesn't matter. I'll just take him out. Is that?
Target enemy detected.
To me!
What's your status?
This is the target. I'm going to destroy it.
Right. I'll provide support.
Alert. Incoming enemy attack from below. Proposal. Evade.
ghost!
9S! "9S!
9S black box signal detected. No response to communications.
I'm going after him. Send a support request to command.
Negative. Communications have been jammed.
To help 9S. I have to repair him. Pod, get me staunching gel and logic virus vaccines. Then access the...
Inadvisable. The subject's vital signs are too poor to attempt field repair.
Shut up! Just do what I say!
2B. Just go.
You shut up too.
We're soldiers. We take pride in our service.
HO-229 Flight Unit. Command 677 received. Usage rights transferred from 9S to 2B. Requesting acknowledgement.
Please.
All right.
have that kind of intelligence.
2B. I found a weakness in the target. Hacking in to provide support. The control on the enemy's upper arm. Use your paws. Should be able to take it over.
I told you to shut up!
From enemy unit. Marking weak point.
Got it. Seize its control system.
Affirmative. Infiltrating enemy subunit. Behavior table adjusted. Balance controls overridden. Enemy unit subjugation complete.
just die already!
Talk about bringing the battle to them. Ought to be.
Contact command. Request assistance.
No. It doesn't look like that's going to be necessary.
Oh, great.
I don't imagine that this is going to end well. The black box. It's ready.
Right.
Requesting destruction of enemy hostiles via black box reaction.
Request accepted.
Doobie, it was an honor to fight with you. Truly.
The honor was mine.